Hello everyone, welcome to Hopeful Turns. In today's video, I'll be sharing with you the pattern for this crochet pumpkin. Now this pattern here is really very simple and beginner friendly, and the best part is it is a completely customizable pattern. So you can adapt the pattern and make your pumpkins as big as you want or keep it small and tiny. Now if you see here, I have made the pumpkin in two different sizes. This one is the smaller one, which is much more rounder, and this here is slightly bigger than this one, and I have made it a little bit wider. So yeah, you can adapt the pattern and make your pumpkins as you like, make it wider, taller, bigger, smaller, so it's all up to you. It's a really simple pattern. Okay, so let's see the supplies that you would require. Now for this pattern here, I have used the normal worsted weight acrylic yarn. So I have used orange and a little bit of green. If you want, you can also use brown for the stem part. That's up to you. And with that, I have used a size G or 4 mm crochet hook. The actual size was 5 mm, but I have reduced the size by 4 so that the stuffing doesn't show up. The stitches are tighter and the stuffing just stays in place. So that's why I have used a smaller size hook. Now apart from that, you would require a pair of scissors, a yarn needle to weave in all the loose ends, and some stuffing. So this is a polyfill fiber, so this is also required. So these are the requirements. Now if you're ready, we can start. But before that, a small request. If at any point in the video you like what you see, please do not forget to press on the like button. And if you're new to my channel, please do consider subscribing. Now let's just get started. So we'll start our pattern by making a slip knot first. So to make a slip knot, you take your yarn, loop it around your finger like an X. Once you have that, you can take this loop out and pull your working yarn through this loop. So this here is your slip knot. I'm going to attach my hook here to the slip knot. Okay, so our slip knot is ready. Once you have your slip knot, we will make chain stitch. So for my smaller pumpkin, I'm going to start with 20 chain stitch. So this is how you do your chain stitch. Just go left, grab your yarn and pull it through this loop. So this is my first chain stitch, second chain stitch, third chain stitch. Like that, I'm going to make a total of 20 chain stitch. Now for my bigger pumpkin, that yellow one, I had started with 26 chain stitch, which measured about 5 inches. Now this I'm planning to make 20 chain stitch so that it is around 4 inches. So you can make any number of chain stitch depending on the height that you are looking for. Okay, so here I have made my 20 chain stitch, and if I have to measure this measures about 4 inches, or you can say it is 10.5 centimeters. So even though it is 4 inches, you might not get the entire 4 inches for your pumpkin. A little, about say 1 inch from both top and bottom will go towards the flat parts. So if you see here, this was the bigger one. So this I had started with 5 inches. The chain stitch I had started with 26, and if you see here, it is just measuring 3 inches because about an inch has gone both at the top and bottom. So yeah, just take in consideration that you will not get the entire height for your pumpkin. A little over 1 inch will you can just subtract, so that will be like the height of the pumpkin. Okay, so here I'm starting with 20 chain stitch, or it's about 4 inches. Once you are ready with your chain stitch, we'll start row 1. So for the first row, we are going to skip the very first chain stitch. So this is the first chain stitch. I'm going to skip that, and into the second stitch from the hook, I'm going to place a single crochet. So skipping 1 stitch, into the second stitch, make a single crochet like this. All right. In the next stitch also, you have to make a single crochet. So this is how you do a single crochet. Insert your hook, pull up a loop. You have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through both. So this is my second single crochet. So we have made 2 single crochet. In the next 2 stitches, we will put half double crochet. Okay, so here in the third stitch, I'm going to make a half double crochet. So yarn over first, insert your hook into that stitch, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all the 3 loops. So this is a half double crochet. In the next stitch also I'm going to place a half double crochet. So in the fourth stitch also I'm going to make a half double crochet. So we have made 2 single crochet and 2 half double crochet. Next what we'll do is in all the remaining stitches we are going to do a double crochet till we reach the last 4 stitches. We are not going to do the last 4 stitches. So before we reach the last 4 stitches, in rest of the stitches we are going to do a double crochet. So for a double crochet, yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops, yarn over, pull to the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull to the last 2 loops. So this is a double crochet. We will do that again. So yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull to the first 2, yarn over, pull to the next 2. So this is the next double crochet. Like that I will go on repeating this double crochet till I have last 4 stitches left. Now if you want some help with the basic stitches, you can click on the link that is coming up here. I have done a detailed tutorial on all the basic stitches in crochet. Okay, so I'll just go on repeating it till I have last 4 stitches left. So I'm just placing 1 double crochet in each of these stitches. So here I have completed my double crochets. I have just the last 4 stitches left. Okay, so once you are left with 4 stitches, in the next 2 stitches I'm going to make a half double crochet. So I'm going to put a half double crochet. So this is one. In the next stitch also I'm putting a half double crochet like this. Now I have 2 stitches left, the last 2 stitches. So there I'm going to place a single crochet. So I'm going to place a single crochet in the last 2 stitches. So this is how your pattern will be, or this is how your row will be. So this is the pattern that we will be doing. So whatever your chain stitch number is, the initial chain stitch number, this is what you will do. You will skip the very first chain stitch, then put 2 single crochet, follow it by 2 half double crochet, then you will put a row of double crochet till you have 4 stitches left. In the last 4 stitches, you will first place 2 half double crochet, and in the very end, you will put 2 single crochet. So this is the pattern that you'll be following throughout. Okay, so it doesn't matter what the chain stitch is, you're just going to repeat it over and over again. So row 1 is over, so we'll follow the same pattern. So every row from here onwards, we'll start with chain 1 and turn over. And this full pattern is a repeat of row 2. So row 2, we are again going to do 2 single crochet, 2 half double crochet, then a row of double crochet. Then when you're left with last 4 stitches, you will make half double crochet, 2 half double crochet and 2 single crochet. But there is a small change. We will be working all the stitches in the back loops. So if you see here, we have a V, this is a front loop, and this here is your back loop. So we'll be placing everything in the back loops. Okay. So the chain 1 that we have made, it is not going to be treated as any stitch. It is just the turning stitch. This here is my first stitch. So into the back loop, I'll insert my hook and make a single crochet. So this is 1 single crochet. In the next stitch also, I'm going to make a single crochet. All worked only in the back loop. So this is my second single crochet. Okay. In the next 2 stitches, I'll put half double crochet. That too, it will be worked in the back loop. So I'll place a half double crochet. This is 1, and 1 more half double crochet into the next stitch in the back loop. So I have made 2 single crochet and 2 half double crochet. Next, I'm going to put a row of double crochet till I have last 4 stitches left. So in all the remaining stitches, I'm going to make a double crochet, and the double crochet will also be worked in the back loop. So I'm just taking the back loop and making a double crochet. So I'll complete this row of double crochet till I have my last 4 stitches left. So I'll just repeat this. So here I have finished my double crochets. I have last 4 stitches left. And in the last 4 stitches, we will first make 2 half double crochet. So in the last 4 stitches, I'm going to start with 2 half double crochets. So this is my second half double crochet. We have 2 stitches left, and in the very last 2 stitches make a single crochet, and that has to be worked in back loops. This is my last stitch. Here also I'm going to place a single crochet in the back loops. So this is how this looks after row 2, and if you see we have a small ridging. It's because we have worked everything in back loops. So here, from here onwards, we will be working every stitch in the back loops. Okay, so this is the end of row 2. We will start row 3. So row 3 from here onwards is exactly as we did our row 2. So we'll start with chain 1 and then turn our work. So I'll just do this row also with you. So chain 1, turn our work. This is our very first stitch. So in the first 2 stitches I'm going to do single crochets. So this is 1, and in the next stitch also I'm going to make a single crochet. Everything in back loop. Okay, so 2 stitches are done. In the next 2 stitches make half double crochets. So here I'm going to make 1 half double crochet. In the next stitch also I'm going to make a half double crochet. I'm working only in the back loops. So this here again is a half double crochet. Now from here onwards just put a double crochet till you have last 4 stitches left, and you can just go on repeating this row till you have a long strip. Now the number of rows totally depends on the look that you're looking for. So if you want a nice round kind of pumpkin, I would say make it about 2.5 to 3 times the starting chain stitch. So I had started with 4 inches long chain stitch. So I had started with 4 inches. So this was my length that I had started with, and I'm going to make this strip about 11 to 12 inches, about 3 times the starting chain stitch. So if you had started with 5 inches, if you're looking for a nice round kind of a pumpkin, if you're starting with 5, make it to 15 inches long strip. So I'll just continue this and show you how to finish this off. You're just going to make exactly the repeat of row 2. Now if you're looking for a pumpkin that is more wider, you can just make it 4 times, more than 3.5 to 4 times the initial starting chain stitch length. You can make the strip, so you'll have a nice wide kind of a pumpkin. So if you see here for my earlier one, this I had started with 15 inches and I had made it as long as, like, it was about 18.5 to 19 inches. I think it was close to 19 inches long wide strip I had made. Anyway, I'll just make this first and then show you the next step. So here I have finished making the strip. So this is how long it has been. So if I have to measure it, so this measures about close to 12 inches. See, this is about 12 inches. So I have made 3 times my starting chain. I had started with 4 inches. So this was 4 inches and I have made 3 times the length. So this will make for a nice round pumpkin. Now if you're looking for a wider one, something like this, it's not very round one, it's much more wider. So if you want wider, just go on increasing the strip length. So this was about 4 times the length. So I had started with 5 inch and I had made about 18.5 to 19 inches long strip. So that is why this is much more wider. Now this I'm planning to make it like a small round pumpkin. So that is why I have made it about 12 inches 3 times. Okay. So when you are ready with the strip, we can join this. So we are going to join it like this. So this is how it's going to be. So this was my last row. And once you are done, I'm going to chain 1. Okay. And then I'm going to close this up together with a slip stitch. Okay. So for a slip stitch, what I'll do is I'll take the back loop of this stitch, the row that I have finished. So I'm just going to use the back loop from this stitch, and there is just 1 stitch left. So I'll take that also and I'm going to slip stitch. Okay. So for a slip stitch, I'm just going to insert my hook through the back loop of the stitch. Chain 1 is just for the turning chain purpose. There is nothing more to it. And I will go ahead and take a stitch from this side and I'm going to slip stitch it. So make a slip stitch like this. Okay, so this is done. Now come to the next stitch. Again, I'm going to take the back loop only. So this is my next stitch. I'll insert my hook through the back loop. I will take the stitch from this side. I'll take the yarn tail along with me so that I don't have to weave in it later. So this is my next slip stitch. Again, make a slip stitch into the next stitch, one stitch from this side, one stitch from this side, and join with a slip stitch. Like this, you can go ahead and complete this row, and I'll meet you once I'm done with slip stitching. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end of this row. I'm just going to make a row of slip stitches. So here I have finished making my slip stitch, and both these ends are joined together, and this is how this looks. At this point, I'm just going to cut my yarn off. So you can just cut your yarn here. So I'm just cutting my yarn. Okay, so this is done, and this is how this looks so far. Okay, now we are going to close the top and the bottom part. Okay, so for that I'm going to take a long piece of yarn here. So I have threaded this through a darning needle, and we are going to close the ends. Okay, so to close this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass my darning needle and the yarn through the very top of the rows. Okay, so through the very top stitches of each row, I'm going to pass my darning needle. So I'm just going to insert my hook, come out through another stitch at the very top like this. I'm just going to go around once. So just take your needle through the different stitches of each of these rows. At the very top, find the very top stitch of each row and pass your needle through. So here I have gone around the top stitches of the different rows, and I have reached where I have started. At this point, you can just pull on these two ends together and it will close. So you can just tug it on nicely. So you can see this has been closed. So once you're confident that the gap has reduced completely, you can tie this off. So I'm just going to make a double knot. Now in case there is a small gap, it's totally okay. We'll just hide it. We'll just stitch this up together once more, so that if there is any gap at all, you can close it up completely. So make a double knot. I think it is closed for me. Now in case it has not been closed for you, what you can do is you can just make 2-3 diagonal lines. So here I have threaded this again, and if at all there is any gap, you can just go ahead and just stitch this up 1 to 2 times so that anything that is there is completely closed. So I'll just make a couple of diagonals across so that the hole is completely hidden. See, there is no more holes. If you want, you can just tie one more knot to it. You don't have to hide the tail ends now because we are going to flip this over. You can use it as your stuffing. So I'm just going to flip this over. Okay, so one part is done. Okay, this has to be also hidden. So I'll just take this inside so that it just gets hidden inside. Okay, so this part is done. Same thing we are going to do here. So I'll again take a piece of yarn and go around it. All right, so here I have again taken a piece of yarn, and what we have done earlier, that's exactly same thing we are going to do. We are just going to go through the top stitches of the different rows, and before closing we will have to stuff this in. So I'll just go around once. So if you see here, there is a row which is slightly down and one is slightly up. So you have to take care of both the rows. So just take the stitches from both the rows and go around it. So I'll just quickly go around it. So here I have gone around this once, and these are my 2 ends which I need to pull to close it completely. But before that, we will add some stuffing to it. So just put the stuffing and then we can close it. Okay. So here I have added the stuffing, and at this point I'm just going to close it up. So you can just pull on these 2 ends and you can just close it up nice and tight. So Once that is done, you can just knot it up, and then if there is any gap left, you can just hide it in. You can just make a couple of stitches across so that the gap is completely closed, or you can even add a stalk or a stem that we are going to make, so that will take care of the gap that is there. Okay, so I've just knotted this down, and now I'm going to make a couple of stitches across so that the small gap that is left, I can close it. So I'm just going across this a couple of times so that the gap that is still left is completely closed. Okay, I think this should be enough. I'll just make one more knot and then just tie in all the loose ends. So I'll just make one more knot with this. Now if you find the need, you can just go on a couple of more times, and once you are done, you can just hide this in. So I'm just going to push this in and come out of some other stitch so that it will be lost in the stuffing. Okay, I'll just cut this, and similarly I'll just hide in the other end also, and our pumpkin will be almost done. Now if you want, you can keep the pumpkin like this itself, this is also fine, or else you can just make sections. So I'll just show you in a minute how to make the section, but that is totally optional. If you want, you can do it or just ignore it, or just leave it completely, and you can use this as your pumpkin. Okay, so there, our pumpkin as such is done. Now we'll make the sections. As I said, it is totally optional. I'll take a long piece of strand first. So here I have taken a long piece of yarn. I have just doubled this up, and we'll start making the sections. So what I'll do is I'll start from one of the side. So you can take any bottom or top, whichever side you want. I'm just going to poke my needle through it and come out from the center of the other side. So I'll just try to come out from the center of the other end. Okay, so this is where the center is. I'm just going to pull this out like this. I'll keep a little bit of yarn here, which we will knot it down once everything is done. Okay, so once this is done, I'll go and make a section. Probably here, this is a good place. I think this is where we had stitched up earlier. So I'll take this yarn, go around it. So here I'm the top, I'll go around it like this, and again poke my needle through the center and come out of the other end. So I'm just going to come out of the other end. So this is a little bit big pumpkin, so I have to find my way out through the center. So I'll just pull it out like this, so the tail end is still intact. Okay, and when I'm doing it, when I'm pulling it, I'm just going to pull it a little bit tighter. So if you see, this will kind of create the section. So it has created a small section or a slice. So whenever you're pulling, just pull a little bit tighter so that it just goes in a bit. So one section is done. Like that, you can make 2 or 3 or 4, whatever, how many ever you want. I'll show you once more. So probably I'll make one more section through this side. So I'll just place it here. We'll try to come here and again poke my needle through the center and come out of the other end. So I think I have got my yarn. Okay, I'll place it between the ridge and pull nicely. So you see, it is going to make a section. So I have made 2 sections. I think I'll make 2 more sections and then we'll stop. So I'll just make 2 more sections. I'm just going to go from one side to another side, and whenever I'm pulling, I'll pull a little bit tightly. So here I have made a total of 4 sections. So 1, 2, 3 and 4, and I think this is enough for me. It's a small one. So I made a total of 4 sections, and once I did that, I double knotted it, and then I just hidden all the loose ends. Okay, so the pumpkin part is ready. Now we'll work on the stem part. Okay, so for that I'm going to take a green color yarn. So what I'll do is I'll just go about maybe 6 to 7 inches long tail. I'll leave 6 to 7 inches long tail, and then I'm going to make a slip knot like this. Once I have that, what I'll do is I will first of all, I'm going to make a very simple cord for the stem. It's a very simple one, so I'll show you. I'll make a chain stitch. So I've made one chain stitch. After that, with this end, I'm just going to place it on top of my hook like this. So I have 2 loops now, and I'm going to make a chain stitch using both these loops like this. I'll show it again. I will take this end, the long tail end that we have left, I'll put it over my hook like this. Now I have 2 stitches, and I'm going to complete a chain stitch. So I'm just like we do a chain stitch, I'm going to do it, but I'm going to take it from both these loops like this. Again, put your tail end over your hook and then complete a chain stitch. So like this, I'm just going to go for a small distance, and if you see, you have a nice small cord getting formed. So this is how it looks. I'll make, I think, 2 or 3 more chain stitch. Now I have made a separate tutorial on how to do this cord. If you want to see how it looks with 2 different colors, you can click on this link that is coming up here. I have a separate tutorial on that. So this is my stalk or the stem. I think this is enough for me. I will cut my yarn here and take this out. I think this is okay for the height. Now all we have to do is to stitch this up. Okay, so this is how long or big the stalk is. I'll just first of all use my darning needle to weave this in. Okay, now I'm just going to stitch this cord on top of this. So I'll just place it at the very center, catch hold of a few stitches from the pumpkin and stitch this up. So I'm just going to go a couple of times, catching hold of the stitches from the pumpkin and coming out. Now if you want a bigger stalk or stem, you can definitely just go on making the cord a little bit longer according to your preference. As I said, I have a separate tutorial on how to do this cord. It's a very simple cord, and it looks really beautiful with 2 different colors. So if you're looking for any cord for your drawstring or pouches, anything, you can try that out. It will look good. Okay, so this is done. I'll make just 1 knot with the other one and then hide in the tails. So I'll take this, poke it through the center and come out of some other stitch. That's it, and I can cut my yarn here. So here I have weaved in all the loose ends and our pumpkin is ready. So yeah, that was a tutorial on how to do the crochet pumpkin. I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed making it. Now if you liked it, please do not forget to press on the like button. And if you're new to my channel, please do consider subscribing. See you in another video. Until then, bye-bye. Thank you for watching.